Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about American politics. We're going to talk about Joe in, Kamala out era, and we're going to talk about is Kamala Harris's, is she actually winning any voters to the Democrat Party? Who likes her, who doesn't? And here's the issue, right? So basically, yeah. So basically you have this situation where the question happens, so what is the actual, is she winning voters? I think it's a real, well, Scott, just turn on CNN. They'll tell you she's flipped every single key state. Every swing state's been flipped. She's 40 points above Trump everywhere. Just absurd, ridiculous, and it's everywhere. It's Wall Street Journal, it's New York Times, it's, and you could change the number. It's 4 points or 40 points or whatever, right? But this candidate, actually, you know what? Joe Rogan just had a guy on, and he said it best, right? Joe Rogan had a cryptoid expert, like Sasquatches, like plesiosauruses, and he had a guy, and this guy was like, do you think we're being gaslit again? And he said it to Joe Rogan. His last name is Gimlin, right? I think his name is Bob Giblin. Yeah, I think it's Bob Giblin, right? And he's like, we're being gaslit again, right? And he's like, this candidate who was a joke even among the Democrats is now beating Trump. Right, and that's the story. Like, you go New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Atlanta, any CNN, any mainstream news source, they're like, oh yeah, Donald Trump's in big trouble. Yeah, Kamala Harris isn't like half the politician that Hillary was, and Trump, when he was a nobody, like, managed Hillary effortlessly. But this new Kamala Harris, who's literally famous for her numbers being worse than Joe Biden, her entire period as vice president, who's famous for accomplishing virtually nothing as a vice president, right? Like, literally famous for, like, what did she do? Or right? And, is now just leading every poll and just destroying, Trump. And so this is the reason why we're talking today. This is my field report. I'm talking to you from eastern Pennsylvania, right near Philadelphia. And I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing on the ground here, right? Because I can tell you right now, you can't trust a single poll you are hearing. And the reason why is, in my humble opinion, every poll shows Kamala up because polls don't talk to anyone who is not a Democrat. Republicans learned in 2016, keep your mouth shut, do not ever answer a poll, and you'll get exactly what you want in the election. And that's exactly what's happening, right? Kamala's up because ain't nobody answering the polls but Democrats, right? So let's talk about, for realsies, what's actually happening on the ground, right? And so this is just my field report, right? My humble opinion, not for realsies, just my humble opinion, right? And I'm reporting to you what I'm seeing on the ground. And the reason I'm doing it is I want to hear what you're seeing, right? Not on Twitter, right? Not nonsense you're reading on your Facebook page. I want to hear what you're seeing in the streets, right? So let's talk about it. Okay. So I'm a regular American. I go here and there, right? Like, I make my travels, but, run my errands, blah, 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 right? And so now, because of the life I live, I run into young women. I would say I would run into them at a regular cadence, not frequently, not infrequently, right? And so I had a chance to talk to two young women. And I said, what do you think of Kamala? And they're like, I am excited. I am so excited. I'm like, what are you excited about, right? Like, what are you excited about Kamala? She's a woman. I've never had a chance to elect a woman as president. And I was like, oh, you know what? I definitely hear you there. And the reason why is the same thing happened to me with President Obama. I never thought in my lifetime a real African-American person of color would be in position to actually be voted for president. When that happened, I became extremely excited, right? I voted for President Obama twice. because I truly want to believe that if I had been, that I would have been on the Underground Railroad, here's the test. Would you have been the person chasing people coming up from the South or harboring them, right? And I want to believe I would have been hiding them, harboring them, helping them, right? So how do I know if that's true or not? Well, when I get a chance to make, an African-American president, I'm going to take it. So that was that. And, for the first time ever, and that's exactly what I did, right? So I voted for Obama twice. So I understand what these girls are saying. And there is genuine excitement among young women, right? Have I met a single older woman who is excited about Kamala Harris? I have not. Not one, right? Not one, okay? All right, so young women, genuinely excited about Kamala Harris. And I think she's going to get their vote. Here's the kicker. Does that matter? Nope. Young people don't vote. Young people don't vote. Young people do not vote. Young people do not vote. Young people do not vote. This ain't my first rodeo. I have a degree in political science, and I can tell you right now, young people do not vote. They're going to be very excited. There's going to be a lot of talk about it. They ain't going to show up at the polls. They never do. Never, right? And old people, they don't miss a single vote. They're there early. They're like, well, I'm waiting in line. And you're like, there ain't no line. I'm waiting. And people will wait for these young voters to show up. They ain't going to show. This is going to be the same as every other election. Young people talking a big game. Do not show at the polls. Do not vote. Okay? So they are genuinely excited. And how is that going to translate to them for getting to, for getting to vote for Kamala? Same way they forgot their phone charger. It's just going to happen. They didn't intend it. They didn't think it was going to happen. But they will literally November 4th go, what? The election was 2 days ago? Yes, that's right. That's what's going to happen, man. All right, second field report. I saw my first Kamala Harris 2024 t-shirt, okay? So it was Sunday. I didn't want anybody in the family to have to cook. So I was like, go get a pizza for everybody. So I went to my local pizza place, which we love and been buying for them for 20 years. We got a large cheesesteak stromboli, right? And we got a large cheese pizza. And I went and got that. And while I waited, I saw a gentleman walk in and order and pick up his pizza. Just one pizza, right? And he had a Kamala 2024 t-shirt on, right? And I was like, wow. And I really wanted to talk to him. But, I was waiting for my pizzas. He was waiting for his, so I didn't. But I took a good look. And here's what I'm going to tell you, all right? Does this matter? Does this mean people are excited for Kamala? Absolutely not. Here's why. I could have pegged this dude as a Democrat liberal from 50 feet, seeing him. Birkenstocks, old dude, white hair, wearing glasses, thin, right? In good shape. Democrats are in good shape. They keep very good care of themselves. Not like Republicans, right? We enjoy a chili dog and every now and then a cheeseburger, right? This guy, I would not have been surprised if his main source of protein was hummus. Now, he was getting a pizza. I wish I knew what was on that. I'll bet it was like cheese and pineapple. But he seemed like a very nice gentleman, good upstanding citizen. I'm glad he was. And hey, we're on the same side, buddy. We love the same pizza, right? But this dude has been voting for Democrats for 40 years. I think he's probably 60, right? No, actually, he's about 65 or 70. He's between 60 and 70 years old, right? Caucasian male, right? Wearing Birkenstocks, jeans, and his t-shirt, right? And, just like, I would not have been surprised to see him on a surfboard, right? He was just, So, one, it's a Democrat excited about a Democrat, right? Nothing new. This is not, some swing or anything. So, that's what I'm seeing in my neck of the woods. I do think young women are absolutely extremely excited about Kamala Harris. I don't think it will matter. I don't think they're going to show up at the polls. There are 100 things that block people from voting, especially young people, right? And I think it's going to hit them all. But that's my take. So I don't want you to have to rely on CNN, Wall Street Journal, Atlanta, any of those mainstream stuff, because like their numbers are just like, I mean, within 2 weeks they're like, oh yeah, Kamala's it, man. She's beating them in every swing state. It's all, yeah, it's done, baby. Like everybody loves Kamala. It's going to be a sweep. And I'm like, that sounds a lot like 2016, a lot. I just gave you my field report. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion on what's happening in South Pennsylvania, all right? Or I'm sorry, East Pennsylvania. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion on what's happening in your neck of the woods. I really want to know, right? Because I don't give a fig what the Wall Street Journal says, New York Times, CNN, Atlanta, any of that nonsense mainstream media. I don't believe almost anything coming out of any of those sources, right? Like, I want to hear from the people, right? So if you have time, and if you don't, that's totally okay. We all live busy lives. But if you got a minute, I would love to hear what's happening in your neck of woods, what you're actually seeing and the conversations you're having with real Americans. Thank you. It is a privilege for me to discuss politics with you. And if you watch this, if you comment, if you share, if you like, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you very much. You just heard my humble opinion. The important part's when I hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.